It says oil service and 14,000 miles. Just an oil service? It's not like the crazy expensive service too? That's good news. All right, everybody, it's time to enjoy some pre-summer weather. I say pre-summer because it's not quite summer, but it's definitely getting there. It's super nice. I don't need to wear a jacket when I'm delivering anymore, except for maybe early in the morning. But even then, it's like, if you can't handle that temperature, you're just a bitch. Let me know what you guys think of the vlog content I've done in the last few days, or like last week or so. Hilariously, as of me recording this, I haven't even recorded all the vlogs I'm planning on doing, but they should all be done by now, by the time this video's coming out. So I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts as to what you think of the vlog content, because right now the channel's doing better. March is a lot better than February, which is pretty cool. We kind of had to recover a little bit from a low point because I kind of messed up with the frequency of content and the content I was doing. So that was mostly my fault. So we are recovering. And I think, as far as I can tell, just uploading a video every other day, no matter what kind of video it is, seems to just be really, really good for the channel. It doesn't seem to really matter too much what it is, as long as it's vaguely car related. I don't know about the whole Aventador SV and Aventador LP700 thing. Because to get a normal LP700 and then convert it to an SV using OEM parts doesn't cost much less than just getting an actual SV. But then, okay, so let's just get an actual SV. Would you guys go insane if I changed the wing on the SV for something I prefer? Like just something a little bigger and a little wider and a slightly different shape? Because I feel like an SVJ is just not on the cards, not on the table. Because the SVJ is like 700, 800 grand. And I don't know if those are going to appreciate or depreciate. Because, you know, internal combustion engines are going away and everything's becoming hybrid, everything's becoming turbo. I'm hoping that the Aventador's successor is a V12. So I just don't know. I mean, the Murcielago, you know, you could get a decent one for 300 grand a few years ago. Now they're like $500,000, right? Isn't that correct? I do want to get into doing supercar stuff though, because clearly from a business and YouTube standpoint, supercar content is a really good direction to go in. Yes, I still want to do stuff like in these cars, like this is an exotic, but it's not a supercar. And I still want to do tuners, but you know, if doing supercars seems like a good direction to go in as well, I'm not going to complain. It will be more expensive than building the M3 GTR or the R34 GTR. Parts on exotics get expensive fast. It's like buying real race car parts, because, you know, the M3 GTR exhaust or the M3 GT2 exhaust is an Inconel exhaust system. Each header's, like, individual header is $10,000, so the full header system is 20. The rest of the exhaust is another 15 or 20. It's the same thing with exotics, except it's not always Inconel. Sometimes it's just titanium. A titanium exhaust that's $20,000. You can get that for like a McLaren, a Lamborghini, a Koenigsegg would probably be more, to be honest. There aren't many companies that make exhaust for Koenigsegg's, as far as I'm aware, but you can get a straight pipe from Bowden Auto House, I believe. So yeah, but exotics, I really do want to get into doing exotics. I think that would be, or supercars. I'm in an exotic right now, but I want to do more supercar stuff at some point in the future. I think that would be fun, really good for the channel, and you know, because of how much I love cars, it would be a neat learning experience for me too, because for most of my life, I've always thought, supercars aren't really my thing, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to stay humble and just go for BMW M3 E46, R34 GTR, and all that sort of stuff, and not really get into Lamborghinis and Ferraris and all that. But as I got older and older, hilariously, I started to like them more. Whereas I think with a lot of people, they like those cars most of the time when they're younger, and then when they get older, they move on to more reasonable things. For me, it's the opposite. For me, I've always liked Honda Civics, Integras, Nissan Skylines, BMWs. BMW was probably the highest end car I ever actually had in the wish list. Now things are different. Like back in high school, that really started to change. So in high school, I watched the Top Gear episode of Jeremy Clarkson reviewing the McLaren P1. And that was the first supercar or even hypercar where I just thought, man, I actually really want that. Like that, I would put that car before the M3 on the dream wish list. And then I realized it was a hypercar, and then it's like $1 million, $2 million car. But still, that kind of broke the ice for me in the supercar conversation internally with myself. And now supercars are suddenly more appealing to me. Mostly thanks to the McLaren. But now I give them more thought. Now I pay more attention to them. Now I appreciate them more. And, you know, obviously YouTube, the Lamborghini Huracan is like the go-to choice. Everyone has a Lamborghini Huracan or like a Gallardo or something, some kind of Lambo V10 on YouTube. And those are everywhere. And so I appreciate those even more. But then over time, I moved on to other supercars that I thought were neat. The McLaren 765LT, the most recent one, that's a very nice car. But even so, the Lamborghini Aventador SV has always been one that is stuck with me because of the styling, the sound, the interior, the colors that came in. I mean, hilariously, the Aventador SV, the V12, doesn't sound too different from the V12, the BMW S70 V12 and the McLaren F1. I don't know if you guys knew that. A lot of people will say the McLaren F1 sounds like an Aventador. No, it's the other way around. The Aventador sounds like the F1. The BMW S70 V12 came first. Let's switch it to shift setting 4. We are now in S4. Normally we're just in S3. Yeah, this car is fun. I'm doing that at half throttle. That is half throttle. And this car is still just so much fun. Oh, those downshifts are good, man. S4 downshifts. Oh, it's good. It shifts pretty smooth. I've never really put it into 5. I'll put it into 5 now. And we'll see. Oh, that's pretty aggressive. Downshift. All right, let's do a downshift from 3rd to 2nd. Well, that's pretty quick. That's pretty cool though. The SMG gearbox is a neat piece of kit. Obviously the Drenth will be better, but I like that you can adjust the shift speeds. Hopefully in the Drenth gearbox, we can adjust the shifting so that it's still pretty forgiving at low speeds, because I'm a little worried that when I try to shift it when I'm just doing normal everyday driving, it might not like that very much. That's my only thing. That's my only concern with the Drenth gearbox. I don't know how it shifts for normal everyday driving. I need to log into the internet to clock in. Why was I Googling the Up House? Oh, it's because Heather found a house that looked just like the Up House when we were house hunting yesterday. You gonna go, Mr. Pontiac? Like a G6? Is that what that song was about? I thought it was about a plane. Now, are the mirrors gonna point down? Not today. They've stopped pointing down for some reason. I don't know why. All right, cool. See you guys in the afternoon. Well, that was an interesting day. Sometimes I have days where I feel like I'm getting slower, but then again, like a week or two ago, I think I told you guys about this, how I started the day with like 178 stops and got back with like 190 something and 300 and Was it 310 or 315? I can't remember. So it's not that I'm slow, I don't think, but golly good gravy. I only had 160 something stops today. It was 170 something. I think it was like 173. It wasn't a ton, and I didn't even get to finish all of it. I brought back 5 packages. I don't know what happened, man. I don't know if yesterday I pushed myself too hard or if it's just because it's getting hotter and I'm slowing down. I mean, that all good theories, but most of them are just excuses. But anyways, I'm gonna head out, but I need to check this when I get home. Is the color of the M3, the car we're in right now. I need to check and see what the factory color that it's painted in, because there's jet black and carbon black metallic or something like that, and I don't know which one it is. And I think you can check by checking somewhere in the engine bay near the hood pillar over here on the hood pillar, the pillar. It would be, if you're facing the car and looking in the engine bay, it would be in the top right corner of the engine bay, I think. It's like a 3-digit code to figure out what the OEM color is. Because what I'm thinking is, when I do the body kit, we'll have it paint matched so that we can have the wrap be the last thing that's revealed. I don't know why I'm still wearing this. I don't need it. It's very dark. I don't need a hat right now. Not that really baseball caps really help with sunlight getting in. Sorry, Snapchat. Not that a cap really helps with getting sunlight out of your eyes. Oh my God. Not that a cap really helps with getting sunlight out of your eyes, admittedly, at least in my opinion. Sunglasses are your best chance of doing that, which really sucks for people that need glasses just to see, because then you need like either prescription sunglasses or contacts to wear under your sunglasses. Yeah, that's probably really annoying. Oh man. So just a little bit of life lesson from you guys, because when I was in there, I was waiting my turn to turn in the packages that I didn't get to deliver, because I was told to come on back, and I was like, okay, no biggie. And one of the drivers from one of the other companies is bringing his empty sorting bags, and he just puts them on the floor, and one of the warehouse workers says, hey, can you put this on the cart? And immediately the driver's like, why, is it too heavy for you? That's not my job, and all that sort of stuff. And I'm just standing here thinking, yes, it is, and all that. And he's not listening to the guy telling him, hey, yes, it is your job. But he will listen when the girl says it's actually required because it's a safety thing, which I didn't know was because it was a safety thing. I just knew it was what we were supposed to do, so it would be easier for them to move them around. But, whatever. But he gets all heated and tosses the bags onto the cart and walks away all frustrated and like clears his throat like I'll just never get that, especially from a delivery driver. We deliver much heavier things than the empty bags to people's porches and stuff, and carry all this heavy stuff around. And it's like, why complain about this one tiny thing that is not even that heavy or annoying? Like, can you not bring your... Don't be lazy, everyone. It's just not a good personality trait. In fact, it makes you quite pitiable or pitiful, whichever one suits you. But it has to be one of those two. But on a lighter note, funny story from today. I did one of those things where basically it's like, why is my speed being checked here? Is this a work zone? I did one of those things where it's like, oh man, I wish someone was there to see it because no one's going to know what just happened. But basically, I was trying to hold all the packages and I was trying to not drop them. One slips and I catch it with my hand, just barely, and I'm like, oh no, and I catch it in the most awkward way possible. And then it slips, and then I catch it with like my foot, like it lands on my foot, and I kind of balance it there, and I'm like, oh, and I like toss my delivery phone to the side and grab the package so it doesn't land on the ground because I don't know what's in there. And I grab it. I'm like, man, I wish someone had seen that, or like their like, because people have those digital doorbells with the cameras in them. I wish like someone's doorbell had caught that or something. Because I'm like, man, that's the most dexterous thing I've ever done in my entire life, and no one is going to know about it. I mean, you guys know about it, but I have no proof. But then again, why would you lie about something so meaningless? Do people lie about stuff like that? I think I talked about this earlier, about Ferrari 360s. I think I did, or maybe it was a previous video. But I've been kind of juggling the idea of me getting into the supercar world eventually, and trying to figure out where I'd want to start. Like, what would be my first initial goal? Like, I know where I'd want to be ultimately, but you got to think about the steps that get you there. Otherwise, it becomes very hard to get there, because then you can't visualize the process of you actually achieving your dreams. And so I wanted to figure out how I would get there, and like what the steps would be, where would I start, how would I warm myself up to my final goal. And I thought, well, what's an affordable supercar? And when I say affordable, I mean cheap, used, not new or anything like that, but fairly used. So I'm thinking, well, there's the old Lamborghini Gallardo with the 5.0 V10, which is cool, sounds fantastic. But I could also go down the Ferrari route and get a 360 Modena. You know, that's a great car. The styling isn't, it's a great looking car, but it's not popping. But you can fix that, obviously, with body kits and stuff. But I don't want to go Liberty Walk. I don't want to go Pandem or anything like that. I want it to be a different look. I want it to look like a GT car. So I did a bit of research, and I found an old Daily Driven Exotics video that had actually made me have this idea like 2 years ago, I think, or maybe a year ago. And it was a video where they had to go to R3 Motorsports to borrow some tools for their friend's 458 Challenge car, because it had center lock wheels and all that sort of stuff. Anyways, they had a Ferrari 360 Modena street car with the GT parts on it, and it looked fantastic. It had the hood with a NACA duct on the left side, if you're looking at it from the front. It had the wing. It had the front bumper, side skirts, and rear bumper. I think it was even a little wider at the front than stock. That would be perfect, I feel like. That would be perfect. You know, that with some wheels, a wrap. You know, it's rear-wheel drive. It's a supercar. It's a Ferrari. It's got that classic design, especially with the quad-tip taillights, or the quad taillights. I don't know why I said quad-tip. I think it's because I'm so used to saying quad-tip exhaust. But that's not what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen. Is that not a very inclusive thing to say, ladies and gentlemen? Am I not allowed to say that anymore? What should I say? Everyone? Should I just say everyone? I feel like that's a pretty safe thing to say. God, someone has their brights on behind me, or they just have very, very, very bright headlights. If it were a pickup truck, it would be riding my bumper with its bright headlight, but I don't think that's a pickup truck. Why? If you're a pickup truck driver, I'm not going to be totally hostile to you just yet, but why do you guys do that? You know, and like, this is a 2-lane road, so it's possible to pass and all that, but I'm in the right lane. I'm not going exactly the speed limit, but if this were a 1-lane road, and it's like, let's say it's like a 55, and I'm going like 60 or 65, and this pickup truck will still be riding my bumper, and it's like, why? Like, why is this something that you guys do, and why is it only you? And why is it that when you lift your trucks and then you get all these lights, you don't adjust them so that they're not blinding? Like, do you just not give a shit? Are you stupid? Or do you want to be a dick? I feel like those are the only three, because I'll be nice. There could be the fourth one where it's just like you just didn't think of it. Maybe it's your first truck and it's your first mod or whatever. But you got to do that, man. Because you want people to look at your truck and go, oh, that's cool. Not, oh, it's another one of these f***ing assholes. You know? You want to be you want to rep your community. You want to be good. a good representative of the community that you're a part of. So, like, for instance, as a BMW driver, I use my signals. I don't park like a dickhead and all that sort of stuff. You don't have to make them a self-fulfilling prophecy to become them. I'll be honest, that's not where I thought today's episode was going to go and where it was going to end, truth be told. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I am Tom, the Racing Joker. If you like what you have seen so far and you're not subscribed yet, fix that, because you'll love what I've got planned. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye!